For my church's chicken fans, in this video I'm going to share with you my Copycat honey butter drop biscuits recipe. So much better homemade. And to start off, in my measuring cup I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. Not the easiest ingredient to try to incorporate into baked goods. I find doing it this way is the most efficient way to go about it. And once you get all of that honey in there, you're just going to give it a good stir until it's well combined with the heavy whipping cream. You're going to want to look for the honey to completely dissolve in the heavy whipping cream. That's how you know it's well combined. And once that's done, we're just going to set that measuring cup aside from now and bring over our 3-quart mixing bowl. And to this bowl, we're going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we're going to add, after this, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, as well as 1/2 teaspoon of iodized salt. And then we're just going to give these dry ingredients a good whisk until they're well combined. And then once these dry ingredients are well combined, we're going to move on to adding the wet ingredients. So in this bowl, I have 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter. And then finally, I'm going to add the heavy whipping cream with the honey infused. Now, the reason I chose heavy whipping cream for this recipe is, number one, it has a higher fat content, which really enhances the buttery flavor. And also, the water content is lower, so that fat is not diluted nearly as much as it would be if you were to use whole milk. So I finished folding the wet and dry ingredients together until just combined. You want to be careful not to overwork the dough because that will lead to gluten development, which will prevent the biscuits from baking properly. So I have my cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to use an ice cream scoop to place the biscuits onto the cookie sheet. By the way, the reason to call drop biscuits is, as the name suggests, is you're literally just scooping them up and dropping them onto the baking sheet. There's no kneading involved with this recipe. So now that all of the biscuit dough is on the cookie sheet, I'm going to place it in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 minutes. Meanwhile, while our biscuits are baking, we're going to prepare our honey butter to brush over the top of the biscuits. So in a microwave, I melted 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and to the butter, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. And once we get that honey into the bowl with the butter, what we're going to do is give it a good stir until the butter is well combined with the honey. And once that's done, then by that time, the biscuits in the oven should be done. So we're going to just set this bowl aside, and then we're going to go back to the oven and pull our biscuits out. So now we're just going to set the biscuits down, and then while they're hot, we're going to brush the top of the biscuits with our honey butter. You want to do it while the biscuits are hot. That way the butter is able to adhere to the biscuits and give them that nice glossy finish. And there you have it. For more of these recipes, please like, share, and subscribe.